What is borderline personality disorder? To make it simple, people with borderline personality disorder have an enduring pattern of unstable moods, unstable relationships, and unstable self-image. It's like they have a constant sense of inner turmoil. They feel empty inside, and without something or someone to fill that void, they are very uncomfortable. So they go out into the world and they find someone or something to attach themselves to in hopes that this will fulfill them, but it never does. And then they become angry at themselves and at others for not being able to sustain that connection. Now, their anger is usually what we call dysregulated, meaning it comes out in ways that are disproportionate to the situation. It could come out as yelling, screaming, throwing things, breaking things, punching walls, doors, or windows. Sometimes it might even be expressed as self-harm, like cutting or burning themselves. People with borderline personality disorder also have a hard time controlling their impulses. They may spend lots of money they don't have, take risks with their safety, or engage in frequent unprotected sex. But perhaps the most distressing symptom of all is the fear of abandonment. People with borderline personality disorder have intense reactions to separation, real or imagined. They may become consumed with thoughts of abandonment. They may see a partner as innocent comment or action as a sign that they are going to be rejected, and then become overwhelmed with a need to get reassurance from that person. If they don't get that reassurance, they may escalate to accusing the person of wanting to harm them or even trying to harm them. So let's take a minute to break down some of these key elements of borderline personality disorder. Unstable moods. This means having frequent and sudden shifts in emotion. One minute you may be happy and the next minute you're sad or angry. You may cry one minute and be laughing the next. Your emotions may be tied to small, seemingly insignificant events. For example, if someone says a joke that you don't like, you may become flooded with anger and feel like smashing things. Number 2, unstable relationships. People with borderline personality disorder have intense but unstable relationships. They tend to idealize people, meaning they put them on a pedestal and view them as perfect, only to later devalue them and view them as all bad. In addition, they have a hard time maintaining relationships because of their fear of abandonment and their tendency to be controlling. Number 3, unstable self-image. People with borderline personality disorder often struggle with questions about who they are, what they believe in, and even their identity. They may jump from one belief system to another or from one identity group to another. For example, maybe they identify as a certain political party and then later reject that and become a different political party. Or maybe they identify as spiritual and then they become an atheist. These shifts can be very destabilizing to those around them, causing others to see them as being confused or even manipulative. The last thing I want to address is how borderline personality disorder forms. It usually begins in childhood or adolescence as a result of childhood trauma, neglect, or emotional abuse. Imagine a young child who has a parent who is emotionally abusive. The child may grow up believing that it's normal to have a parent who is dismissive, mean, and hurtful. Then when the child becomes an adult and enters a relationship with someone who is just as dismissive, mean, and hurtful, they may stay in that relationship thinking it's normal. They may even choose partners who mirror this behavior because that's what they're used to. It's also important to note that people with borderline personality disorder aren't inherently bad or evil. They are suffering from a mental illness that causes them to suffer and those around them to suffer. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to learn more.